Hey everybody, welcome to the show. I know that on this Meet the Team series we've conducted quite a few interviews with the artists, but we haven't really touched level design quite yet. Well, that changes today. On this episode of the podcast, we got Thorvald, our level designer. He takes us through what the philosophy behind Ember Sword is, how he envisions using level design to enhance the world of the game, if you will, and then, as always, we get into his fun gaming history. That includes a very particular game series that I am very fond of, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Hey everybody, like I mentioned, we're here with, I do hope I'm not butchering your name, Vale? How do you pronounce it?
Vala.
Vala, okay, well,
Technically, it's not my real name.
I know, but you can give it in a second. We're starting with the name that everybody has seen you on the Discord if you've engaged in the conversation, but for the record and to just get this ball rolling, tell us who you are, what your position is with an Ember Sword, and then we're going to move into your background, professional background, and how you got to work with us.
Sure. My name is Thorvald. I am a level and world designer on Ember Sword, and have been since April, I believe. My background is actually mostly on the art side of games. I used to study digital art, 3D, and a little bit of pixel art, and then I moved on to the design aspect when I realized I was a garbage artist.
I'm sorry.
And, it turns out I ended up doing art anyway, because I started my own company, December 17, I believe, where I was the lead artist and designer, and ended up just forcing myself to learn how to do at least halfway decent art. So yeah.
What drew you to start studying art?
Well, in the beginning, like when I turned 17, I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to do. I started high school, and then I dropped out because I couldn't see where I was heading, and so I decided to take a step back and work, and just earn some money, see what the world had to offer. And I started working as a poster designer, within Photoshop, just doing digital art, and then realized that I could actually work on games, and that was an actual option for me. And so I moved to Jutland, where I started college, and that was in web design and game art.
Oh, sweet. And then one thing led to another, and sort of here you are. So how did, doing all that art stuff lead to you coming to work on Ember Sword?
So with the company I had, right, we were part of this incubator, which Sune taught at for a while, and I never took any of the classes that Sune taught, but we had been talking for a while, and we shared some ideas, and then at some point he was doing a talk on the blockchain stuff of Ember Sword, and I was having a talk right after him, talking about innovation and startups and that sort of stuff, and then that sort of just led to us being like a bit closer in contact. We met each other at some of the different startup events, and in the meantime, Alan, which is our one of our producers, he sort of followed what I had been doing, and then when we got to April this last year, not last year, this year, he asked if I could help do some level design for Ember Sword, and I was like, sure, why not? And that's sort of how I ended up here.
Sweet. So, in your capacity as the level designer, what is your vision of Ember Sword?
I mean, I'm a huge, or I was a huge MMO nut for like most of my life. I'd been playing World of Warcraft. I'd been playing DOFUS and WAKFU for many years, and those games usually always have like a lot of super exciting and vibrant and fun worlds and fun places to visit and fun and interesting secrets hidden, and like that's what I wanted to make at some point in my life, and Ember Sword sort of gave me that opportunity to sort of see where my imagination could take me, and thus like my vision is to create a world that feels natural, feels lived in, and really expresses a living and breathing story, and people want to or can imagine themselves living in. That's my dream.
That's awesome, actually, because I've talked to some people on the team and they've expressed sort of the same point of view, that they want the world to be as dynamic as possible, which I find to be very commendable, considering we are essentially following the path of companies that have tried to do the same and have sort of fallen off the wagon. My analogy would be something along the lines of Fallout after Bethesda started working on Fallout, where it hit very, very high highs with Obsidian working on it, where they achieved something that is very in line with what you just said, right? A vibrant world that feels lived in, that is just fantastic to explore. Those are some of my favorite games, right? Where you can just pick a direction and go in it and just find interesting things. And then, we have Fallout 4, which, oh boy, has a hard cutoff point where that just stops being magical. For me, it was 48 hours. But yeah, just making parallels here between games that have succeeded, have not succeeded in that venture, and us. And we're in an interesting spot, aren't we? Spot? Christ, I turned Irish there for a second. Interesting spot. Where we are striving to accomplish this with sort of limited resources. So how do you, with that in mind, how do you pursue that vision with the resources we have available in our capacity as, a studio with limited resources?
I mean, when we worked on the demo, which I was hired for initially,
mm-hmm.
what I was told was we have these assets and you can do with them what you want, and that's sort of what I did. So with only so many assets and so much to work with, you have to be super creative, and you have to put things that look a certain way, sort of throw things together, see, okay, this could, when viewed from this angle, look sort of like a tube, or sort of like a mountain ridge, or that type of stuff, right? And so by scaling and twisting and rotating, you sort of end up being able to make pretty unique and pretty crazy things with very little to work with. Like we did a forest where I made this sort of, like, I called it a spirit tree basically, but it was like this huge, like this regular tree which I just scaled up to like 4 times the size, and then I added small things to it, I added some rocks to this, like to the side of the tree, and sort of added some, got to split up some of the other models which had like different types of mushrooms, and so I added some of that stuff to make it look a little bit more magical, and and then some wear and tear by placing some swords in it, that type of stuff. Yeah, so just sort of make shit up as you go, and then at some point see if it looks fun. And yeah,
that's great. I mean, I feel like we are. I apologize to anybody who's listening who is, learning too much about how the cookie crumbles, how the sauce is made, as it were. But this is what the podcast is for, everybody. Give you a glimpse behind the curtain, whether you want it or not. So
I mean, sure, it may ruin some of the mystery and maybe make it sound a little less magical than it actually is. But I mean, half of the time when you do game development in the early stages, it's taping things together and fake it till you make it, and then once the artists get to catch up, because I mean their work just takes longer than a lot of other people's work. You can start adding more of the new exciting artwork. You can start exchanging some of what may have looked like pretty cool but not really finished, and change it into something that looks like polished and super exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Even having said all of that, the demos that we get on a frequent basis to test internally all look like stupendously good.
Yeah,
so
we have really good artists.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, we do. So we are well on our way to making your vision a reality. So speaking of your vision, this is my essentially favorite part of any Meet the Team podcast, where we get to peel the curtain on you as a person and, find out a bit more about what your personal gaming life is, because, that's what the people are here for. So with that in mind, here we go with the free balling. What are your top 5 favorite games in no particular order?
Yeah, I've been thinking about this for a little while, and by listening to some of the other podcasts as well, and I'd say I think my favorite games are probably the Fire Emblem series.
Oh wow! Holy shit! Nice.
Kingdom Hearts and Persona.
Oh my god, dude! I could talk about Persona for hours.
And then I'd definitely say DOFUS, which I know probably a lot of people don't know, but
I don't. What is it?
It's a French MMO. It's pretty old. It's an incredible game. It's probably, I would say, the MMO with the best fights I have ever played in any game whatsoever. Like strategically, it is impeccable. It's a turn-based tile-based MMO. Sort of imagine Fire Emblem, but if it was an MMO and with cute Toonsy characters.
So Fire Emblem, essentially.
Yeah, I guess. It's really good. That was my version of World of Warcraft, pretty much.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Was that expansive?
I mean, it's a pretty big game, pretty big franchise in France actually. But it sort of just never really made it out of that small niche community for some reason, and I don't really know why. It might be because it's turn based, and MMO and turn based looks or it sounds weird. But it's a game where you also don't have the limitation, like the server limitations, because it's turn based, right? So you can so you end up being able to play with people from actually being able to play with people from around the globe. And I made a ton of friends from the US and from Asia and all types of places where I never thought I would meet people. And I even visited one of them in San Francisco when I was here.
Oh, seriously? Awesome.
Yeah, last year. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
It does sound like it would foster a very tight-knit community. I mean, that's guess the upside of not having way too many players, right? Is that Everybody knows each other and it's all comfy. Just to get my fanboy out of the way, how many Persona games have you played?
I played from 3 and onwards.
That is the correct answer.
I don't think I was old enough to actually have the chance to actually get acquainted with the other games, like the two first games. But when I started playing 3 on the PSP,
yes,
like I was fucking hooked. I remember I had and I think I still have and use that that sound setup where I just I have these really big speakers, and I plug the jack stick into the PSP and then just blast the music.
Yes.
Like just the hip hop vibes that come like when you're walking around the school area, just that shit bangs. It is insane.
It's so awesome. The music in Persona is some of the best in gaming, like without
it's
it.
So wild. I love that.
Here comes the tough question. Which is your favorite Persona then?
That's hard. I think gameplay wise, I'd probably have to say 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just because it's just so polished. Like there's nothing to complain about. It's so fun. It's so easy, and it's so clean.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
Story-wise, I think I prefer the third game. Just because I think the characters were more fun. They were more my type of characters, and I just enjoyed the music more. Like I liked the jazz, but
yes,
the hip hop that was in 3 was just more my style.
It is truly fantastic. Most people forget just how special Persona 3 is, and
definitely.
that it created the template for the other games to follow.
Yeah,
and it was so insanely complex and gut-wrenching and just heartwarming, and everything that you've come to learn to know about Persona, all of that got started there. And weirdly, its story is followed up in the fighting game, which not many people played and has a phenomenal story.
I haven't played that much of it. I did play it a little bit, but yeah, I just sucked too much at fighting games to actually play through it.
That's why there's the single button combo, baby. That's what I did. I'm only semi-good at Mortal Kombat with one character, and that's fine for me.
Yeah, I even bought Dragon Ball FighterZ not too long ago because I started watching Dragon Ball Super, and oh boy, that game is hard.
I know, right? I've seen 20 minutes of Evo of that game, and I have gotten carpal tunnel just by proxy. It's terrifying to look at.
Yeah, I mean, I watched some videos trying to explain some the basic combos, and I was like, how do you do this? I can't even make a quarter circle without fucking up.
So this sort of turned into Persona's the best, but I guess moving on. What is your longest gaming session that you can recall?
I'd say probably 30, 40 hours. Yeah.
Playing what?
Diablo 3, I think. Yeah.
Diablo 3. Oh my god.
On launch. Me and
you were the one person who got in.
Yeah. No, it was a funny story actually. So it was in the middle of exams, and me and a friend of mine, we were having an exam that exact day, and we decided to meet up with some other friends, and they were they were a class below us, and so they had school the entire day. And my job was basically, since I was the first one that was up, I had to ace my exam and then run back home to the other guy's place and then set up all the computers, install Diablo 3, get everything ready, so as soon as everyone came back, we would be set. But turns out everyone except 2 of us had gotten Diablo before time. But we were still waiting that day. And for some reason, the mail just came super late, like 4 p.m., which doesn't make sense. Like, why would it come that late? And then we got 2 deluxe edition copies, which we hadn't ordered. But why not? Sure, we'll take it.
Yeah, awesome.
And we were not seen for like 2-3 days.
Oh my
basically.
God. Did you like sleep at all?
Like for those, like the first 2 days, we probably didn't sleep.
Oh my God.
But yeah. Other than that, I don't like. I had a couple like LAN party things where we'd stay up for like 20 some hours, but I think that's definitely probably my longest gaming session.
Dude, that's awesome. That parallels mine in a sense, because I also mine is, I think, a LAN party as well. It's iffy on whether it was the launch of Fallout New Vegas or a LAN party I went to, but we arrived at a friend's villa with all our PCs. We set them up, and then the worst fog of all time, like Silent Hill tier fog, enveloped the house, and we just lost track of time completely for like, I believe, half a week.
That's pretty magical.
Yeah, after the second day, we were like, of Diablo, Counter-Strike, and Borderlands, we were just on another plane of existence. It was nuts. So, in sort of following up on that, what is your fondest gaming memory? Does it have to do with a LAN party or something else?
Okay, so I'm like a huge card game nerd. Like, I've always played a lot of card games my entire life. And me and a group of friends, we decided to sort of meet up. Like half of them we'd never met in real life, and we rented a summer house, and there was no internet or anything. So we brought our laptops with like Warcraft 3 and Age of Mythology installed with mods and stuff. But then some of us also brought Magic cards, and we decided to introduce everyone to Magic, and that it sort of turned out to being like most of an entire week just playing Magic. And that was like in a summer house where, like, with no adults, no nothing. It was perfect. Like, that is definitely my fondest gaming memory.
Oh, that sounds so magical. That's the...
I see what you did there.
Completely unintentional, trust me. I'm not smart enough to make that pun. But yeah, I heavily romanticize just gathering together with friends and gaming hard, and I'm happy that some form of tabletop has representation on the podcast now officially, beyond my occasional D&D tangents, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's near to my heart. Just sitting down with friends and in person playing whatever is a fantastic experience.
Exactly. I think that's why I lately haven't played that many video games. Like I've sort of transitioned into being more of a board game player or just purely doing card games, just because I miss the whole physical aspect, which we had when we were kids, but sort of lost throughout the years playing online.
It's great that it's having a resurgence, and it's awesome that, you know, a lot of people are embracing it as heavily as they are. It's a fantastic feeling. That is a very, very positive note to end on, actually. Fill the people with hope. So thank you for participating. Thank you for taking the time to peel back the curtain on your job, on who you are, what your interests are. Hopefully the people will have as good of a time as I did. And thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Hey you made it to the end. Congratulations! That must mean you like us enough to want more, right? Well, good news! We're all over the internet. Go to embersword.com and subscribe to our newsletter for a chance to play the game early, as well as the latest interesting tidbits on the game and the team. Join our lovely Discord community over at discord.gg/embersword. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook at PlayEmberSword for regular updates on what we're up to. And remember the basics. Drink water, be kind to each other, and spread the word about Ember Sword.